Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal is embarking on a 4-day state visit to India later today. The visit this time is replete with agendas, political parlays and interactions. A team of the Foreign Ministry is already in New Delhi to discuss some outstanding and contentious bilateral issues. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dahal, on the eve of his India visit yesterday, had pledged of not signing any controversial agreements while trying his best to make his 4th visit to the southern neighbors fruitful. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal embarks on his state visit to India with a host of agendas later today. Political parlays in New Delhi begins today itself. Amid growing criticism, the government faces pressure to withdraw MP's Constituency Development Program. Finance Minister assures of proper use of the budget. North Korea's first spy satellite launch ends in failure. A second stage malfunction reported. North Korea vows to send another spy satellite soon. And USA advanced to the quarterfinals of the FIFA Under-20 World Cup, thumping New Zealand 4-0. Israel also reached the last 8, edging past Uzbekistan 1-0. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal is embarking on a 4-day state visit to India today. Premier Dahal is heading to New Delhi with a jumbo delegation of more than 100 members that includes around 50 government officials and more than 50 individuals from the private sector. Prime Minister Dahal is scheduled to leave for New Delhi at 1:20 p.m. on a 1-hour and 30-minute flight of Nepal Airlines. Premier Dahal is expected to reach the Indira Gandhi International Airport in New Delhi at 2:50 p.m. Nepal time. Dahal's accommodation has been arranged at Hotel ITC Maurya. Indian Foreign Secretary Vinay Mohan Quatra is scheduled to meet Prime Minister Dahal at Hotel ITC Maurya this afternoon, while National Security Advisor of India Ajit Doval is scheduled to hold discussions with Dahal at 6 p.m. Premier Dahal and the Nepali delegation will attend a dinner hosted by the Nepalese embassy this evening. Prime Minister Dahal will have a busy schedule tomorrow as he will be holding meetings and signing agreements. After offering a wreath at the Mahatma Gandhi Memorial at Rajghat tomorrow morning, Premier Dahal is scheduled to meet his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi at the Hyderabad House at 5 minutes past 11 a.m. The two prime ministers will hold a one-on-one discussion for about 30 minutes tomorrow. The delegations of both the countries will then hold bilateral talks. After the meeting of the two delegations, a program to sign agreements has been scheduled for 12 noon. Agreements are expected to be reached on energy trade, export of electricity to Bangladesh via India, and aviation routes to be received by Nepal, among other issues. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has informed that a long-term agreement is expected to be inked to attract Indian investment in the electricity sector. After a joint press meet, Indian Prime Minister Modi will hold a luncheon in honor of Premier Dahal and the Nepali delegation at the Hyderabad House. Likewise, Prime Minister Dahal is scheduled to meet Indian Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar at 4 p.m. tomorrow and President Draupadi Murmu at 4:30 p.m. On Friday, Premier Dahal will fly to Indore in Madhya Pradesh at 8 a.m. The Prime Minister will observe a trash management plant in the afternoon in Indore. While in Indore, Dahal will be staying at Hotel Marriott. Dahal is scheduled to meet Madhya Pradesh Governor Manguhai Patel, while Chief Minister Shivaraj Singh Chauhan will host a dinner in his honor. On Saturday, Dahal will fly from Indore to reach the Indira Gandhi International Airport in New Delhi at 1 p.m. After spending about an hour at the airport, Prime Minister Dahal is scheduled to return to Nepal on a regular flight of Nepal Airlines and is expected to reach Kathmandu at 4:20 p.m. The government, which is facing shortage of resources, in embracing any possible means of curbing expenditure. This includes scrapping of incentives of officials and 20 entities. However, the controversial Parliamentary Constituency Development Fund, which aims to address the local needs of development works through the parliamentarians, has been revived. Erstwhile Minister for Finance Bharat Mohan Adhikari, while presenting the budget for the fiscal year 2051-52 Bikram Sambat on 11th of Push 2051, as per the Nepali calendar, had allocated 250,000 rupees for each parliamentarian amounting to 51.2 million rupees. The amount spent by the parliamentarians for local development was increased to 400,000 rupees in the second year, 500,000 rupees in the third year, and 1 million rupees in the fourth year, which was the Nepali fiscal year of 2057-58 Bikram Sambat. The government formed after the Constituent Assembly election of 2064 Bikram Sambat had removed this program from the budget, which met with sharp criticisms from some parliamentarians, while others had appreciated the move. Later, the erstwhile Finance Minister Baburam Bhattarai had revived the program amid criticisms. Saying that 1 million rupees each was too less, parliamentarians of Nepali Congress and CPN-UML had collected signatures to increase the fund to 50 million rupees in the fiscal year 2071-72 Bikram Sambat. The same year, the government allocated 1.5 million rupees for each parliamentarian under the Constituency Development Program and arranged 10 million rupees for Constituency Infrastructure Special Program. In the fiscal year 2072-73 Bikram Sambat, the amount was increased to 2 million rupees for each parliamentarian and 15 million rupees for the Constituency Special Program. Meanwhile, 40 million rupees was allocated for Constituency Infrastructure Development Program in the fiscal year 2075-76 Bikram Sambat. However, following sharp criticisms over the abuse of the funds, the program was scrapped from the fiscal year 2078-79 Bikram Sambat. Now the government has revived the Constituency Development Fund, which will see the state coffer bear the pressure of 8.25 billion rupees. Meanwhile, annual reports from the Office of the Auditor General has reported of irregularities in the funds provided to the parliamentarians. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What's your take on the government's decision to provide 50 million rupees to lawmakers for infrastructure development in their electoral constituencies? Your options are A, wrong practice, B, to please lawmakers, and C, result of influence. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Finance Minister Prakash Charan Mahat has assured that the budget planned for the next fiscal year would be implemented. Speaking at a press conference to inform of the budget unveiled on Tuesday, the Finance Minister said unnecessary expenses could be avoided and government operations would be changed in order to ensure effective implementation of the budget. Minister Mahat emphasized that revenue collection this year would be higher, saying that revenue policies had been improved and that previous shortcomings had been addressed. The minister also assured that the government had begun initiatives to clear due payments of contractor companies that had completed projects. Meanwhile, amid criticism, the minister defended the government decision to raise taxes on smaller electric vehicles and reduce that on heavier electric vehicles, saying the intention was to bring uniformity in taxes. He highlighted on the need to amp up monitoring the market of electric vehicles, saying that sellers had taken more commission than the taxes imposed. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces what they thought of the government's budget for the next fiscal year. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice brought to you by NIC Asia Bank Limited. Bank pani, sathi pani, ramro pani, hamro pani.
जुन विद्यालयहरुमा दिवा खाजा थियो नि त्यसमा मनपरी हिसाबले प्रधानाध्यापकले जुन पायो जे पायो आफ्नो मनपरी तरिकाले त्यो बच्चाहरुलाई खाने कुरा दिनुहुन्थ्यो त्यसमा उहाँले अनिवार्य गरिदिनु भएको छ कि जंक फुड दिन पाइदैन
4 महिनामा ट्याक्स जुन बुझाउने सिस्टम ल्याछ त्यो बड हामी व्यापारीलाई राम्रो भयो
महिला बालबालिका पिछाडी परेका वर्गलाई नसमेटेको जस्तो लाग्छ
गभर्नमेन्ट स्कुलको बच्चाहरुको लागि चाहिँ जुन खाजा भत्ताहरु राखेको छ त्यसले गरेर राम्रो छ
शिक्षा र स्वास्थ्यमा अलि राम्रै छ
स्यालेरी पनि केही हिसाबमा केही पर्सेन्टेज मात्र इन्क्रिज गर्नुपर्ने हो
12% सिमरा कोरिडोरलाई औद्योगिक क्षेत्रमा घोषणा गर्ने भनेको छ त्यो अलि घुमाउरो पारा लाग्यो
कृषि र शिक्षामा जति प्राथमिकता दिनु पर्थ्यो त्यसमा चाहिँ यस बजेटबाट अति कम भयो जस्तो लाग्छ
कपी पेस्ट जस्तो एउटा अनुभूति मेरो भएको छ
यो बजेट सही सदुपयोग हुनु पर्छ
हामी जस्ता सर्वसाधारण व्यापारीको लागि केही न केही आश जगाउने खाले र जनमुखी खाले आएको
अहिलेको बजेट पनि अघिल्लो वर्ष जस्तै नै जनता रुपी चाहिँ आएन
व्यापारीहरूलाई पनि केही राहत ल्याउँछ कि भन्ने आशा छ।
महिला बालबालिकाको सेक्टरमा भएको एउटा मन्त्रालय र विभाग थियो, त्यो विभाग नै खारेज गर्ने निर्णय गरेको हुँदाखेरि यो बजेट समग्रमा चाहिँ चित्त बुझ्दो छैन।
जाजरकोट जुम्ला सडक खण्ड जोड्ने सुरुङ मार्ग लगायतका मुख्य योजनाहरूले यो बजेटमा स्थान नपाउनु दुःखद हो।
बजेटलाई चाहिँ सही तरिकाले चाहिँ उपभोग गरिदिनु पर्यो।
प्रहरी भनौँ यस्तो यिनीहरू रात दिन खटिनेहरूलाई उनीहरूलाई पनि सहुलियत दिएको अलिकति राहत दिएको चाहिँ देखिएन।
महिला बालबालिका हैन युवा यी सबै समेटिने खालका बजेटहरू चाहिँ छैनन्।
आर्थिक सङ्कटलाई समाधान गर्ने दिशातर्फ अगाडि बढाउन सक्दैन।
जता पनि छुन खोजेको तर कतै पनि नभएको।
We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. Welcome back. A writ has been filed at the Supreme Court against the government decision to provide amnesty to former lawmaker Resham Chaudhary, who was earlier sentenced to life imprisonment for his involvement in the Tikapur massacre. The writ applicant is Sharada Bohra Karayat, the wife of police personnel Keshav Bohra, who was killed in the Tikapur incident. Sharada had submitted the application to file a writ on Sunday. Her writ application had been pending, citing time for review. Resham Chaudhary was freed the next day on Monday on the occasion of the 16th Republic Day, following the President's approval to the decision of the Council of Ministers. Hearing on the writ has been scheduled for today. Police in Mohattari have said that the search for an armed group that robbed a branch of NMB Bank in Mohattari Rural Municipality yesterday is still on. 4 armed individuals had robbed 3.8 million rupees from the cash counter in broad daylight yesterday. Armed individuals took staff and customers under control and carried out the heist at around 12:30 p.m. yesterday. The Chief District Officer of Mohattari, Deepak Kumar Pahari, has said investigation on the incident is underway and that search is on for the perpetrators. Pahari added the investigation team is going through the CCTV footage and search has been directed towards possible route the robbers took to escape. It's time now for the international update. A North Korean satellite launch this morning ended in failure after the rocket's second stage malfunctioned, sending the booster and payload plunging into the sea. North Korean state media said the new Cholima-1 satellite launch rocket failed because of instability in the engine and fuel system. The flight was the nuclear-armed state's 6th satellite launch attempt and the first since 2016. It was supposed to put North Korea's first spy satellite in orbit. It prompted emergency alerts and brief evacuation warnings in parts of South Korea and Japan. The notices were withdrawn with no danger or damage reported. North Korea had said it would launch its first military reconnaissance satellite between 31st of May and 11th of June to boost monitoring of U.S. military activities. South Korea last week placed satellites in orbit with a domestically designed and produced rocket for the first time, and China sent 3 astronauts to its space station as part of crew rotation yesterday. In data provided to international authorities, North Korea said the launch would carry the rocket south with stages and other debris expected to fall over the Yellow Sea and into the Pacific Ocean. North Korea has attempted 5 other satellite launches, with 2 placed in orbit, including during its last such launch in 2016. However, analysts say its capacity for constructing working satellites remains unproven. We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break.
Sports news.
Nepal's coach Vincenzo Alberto Anís has called 30 preliminary players for the closed camp for the upcoming SAF Championship. Meanwhile, defending champions Machindra Football Club are taking on Sadabata Youth Club in today's match under the domestic top flight. The match at 3 p.m. is scheduled at Anfa Complex ground. Machindra go into the match with aims of climbing to the 2nd position of the table. And it's time now for the weather update. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.